What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching it. Hopefully, you guys are having a good one. Definitely, before we get rolling, great show last night. Had a lot of interaction, a lot of good talk, a lot of debate, a lot of controversy in the chat. So if you guys haven't yet, hit that subscribe, hit the like button, share with Cowboys Nation, spread the word. The Cowboys Cave is alive and well. We're going to get you through the offseason as we come to a close of a disappointing Cowboy season, man. It's obviously we don't need to beat a dead horse. We need to move on. It's 2025, so we need to refocus, re-energize. Hopefully, a lot of fire under Jerry's ass and get him off it and hopefully get this team in the right direction. We've got the talent. We've just got to fill in some holes, fill in a few gaps through free agency and through the draft. So I'm going to do my way too early mock draft. Just have some fun with it. Got the little draft simulator, so we're gonna get this on here. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on for this because I'm at a small screen and these old eyes can't see. So let's get it rolling. So first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna start the draft. We are picking 13 as of today. We're not gonna do any trades or anything. We're just gonna draft straight up. Let the chips fall where they may. We'll worry about that other stuff. We got a long time before the draft, but let's get this thing rolling and see what we got. So looking at the picks, we are number 13. I wanted to see where the full draft, let's see who went from. I'm curious. Travis Hunter went 1. My man Cam Newton went to Tennessee. Where did Shador went to Carolina? So definitely had the quarterbacks kind of went where I thought they would go. Let's see, Abdul Carter. All right, so we have got a list of guys. We can go offensive line, you can go safety, but I'm going to go wide receiver out of Ohio State. We need to address that wide receiver 2 spot. Reason I like taking a receiver in the first round of this draft, they got some good ones. We need help. You get them on a 5-year deal. So CD just signed a 5-year deal. So you got 2 solid receivers under contract for a long period. And then by the time CD's contract's up, either, he may be on his way, they push it out a little bit less. So I think that's the way to go. So now we're going to go round 2. Round 2, we're going to see where we're at. And let's see what we've got. We can go edge. We can go safety. We can go, the old Skattebo is there if you want to go running backs. Let's see what the running backs look like, because that is an important need for us. Skattebo he's a top-rated running back, but we've got a lot of good running backs on this list. My man Taj Brooks, that is a big Kelly K9's a big fan of him. I know you got my guy from the U, Damian Martinez. So I'm feeling okay with running back right now. I'm not going to wait much longer. But one of the things I'm looking at are edge. And you got Kennard out of South Carolina. You've got, let's go look at the edges and see who we got on this board. We don't want to reach for anyone, but we want to fill some needs. So let's see here. I'm getting a little old. Let's see edge rushers. Let's see what we got. Because Tank Lawrence, you don't know what's going on with him. I like the kid out of Ohio State, but I don't. He must have already been taken. Yeah, he was taken right before us. So we're going to have to look at it. Let's see. Kennard, 10 sacks, decent rating. I don't watch a lot of South Carolina, but they play against good competition, obviously, in the SEC. So we're going to go edge because I need to get an edge. So we're just going to go ahead and get that edge rusher. We're going to get this thing right. Now, this is the interesting one. We got the third round pick. Skattebo is still there, and he's the hot name, right? Obviously, after that huge performance in a loss, a lot of people are going to be digging on him. A lot of people are going to be wanting, to get him in the NFL. And what I see him as, I see him as all-star Brandon Jacobs, big physical back. So if you're going to get a big physical back, you're going to have to pair him with lightning. You're going to have to pair him with a speed guy. I think one thing I like about Skattebo, he brings some tenacity. He brings some dog in him. He's a competitor. He's one of those guys, like you talk about Cam Newton, wasn't recruited heavily out of high school. Cam Newton was a 0-star recruit, had to fight, crawl, work his way to the NFL. Skattebo, obviously, he's not Cam Ward. Did I say Cam Newton? Must be early. He's not Cam Ward, but he had to fight and crawl to get recognized. So that's an interesting one. And in this too early draft, I'm going to go ahead and go with him. I don't want to waste time on a running back. I don't want to waste trying to get into the 5th round. If there is another one there, you can always take 2 running backs in this draft. To me, the Cowboys, it's all about skill position. So I'm going to take Skattebo in the 3rd round. I'm going to take him in the 3rd round, see what we got going on here. We don't get a 4th round pick. So that's the Trey Lance. Unfortunately, that's the Trey Lance. You know, we had to pay the price. So another interesting spot for the Cowboys is in the 5th round. I don't know if he's coming out, but you got Quinn Ewers sitting here. Kyle McCord, I really like out of Syracuse. That's going to be tough because would you draft a quarterback in this draft? Man, you know, we haven't drafted a quarterback in a while. You need to get an heir apparent for Dak Prescott. Trey Lance, they traded for. He wasn't it. We do have some needs. A lot of this comes down to what are they going to do in free agency. If they address a lot of these needs in free agency early, the draft becomes a luxury. And that's the way I've always looked at it. If you look at a lot of these championship teams, the draft is kind of their luxury. I'm not sure with Jerry if that's going to be the case. So I don't see him taking a quarterback in this draft. I could be wrong, but if it were me, I would take one. There's not a lot of pressure, gets time to develop. And I'm telling you, Kyle McCord is a guy that I like very much. He had a huge year, transferred from Ohio State. I saw him firsthand against McCain's. He looked really good, put up big numbers, had the 12 interceptions, but got better as the year went on. Obviously, had some good receivers at Syracuse. And then you got Quinn, had a good year, again, 11 interceptions. So their stats are pretty similar, except McCord put up a few bigger yards and things like that. So that's a tough one. Don't know your guys' thought. Would love to hear it. I'm inclined to take a quarterback here. I know it's crazy. You guys are going to call me stupid, but I'm going to take McCord. I'm going to take Kyle McCord. If he's there, he's a developmental guy. He's a type of quarterback that can run the offense, and I'm going to take him. And lo and behold, in the 6th round, Quinn Ewers is still sitting there. So maybe I know something because he fell in the draft. And now you're looking at now you start to get to that point of are you going to go best available? One concern with me is linebacker. We've got some injuries at the linebacker position. Let's see what we got at linebacker. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got at linebacker because now we got to start maybe getting some needs, see if there's some value there. There's not a lot of value at linebacker. So let's knock that one out. Safety is another position where I think the Cowboys need to look at. Tight end, we kind of lost favor with our guys. So 177. You know, maybe you're reaching. You got the edge rusher from Penn State. Let's see what his size is. 6'5", 266. He's got some good size on him. You don't know what's going to happen with Tank. Playing at a big school, could be a national championship team, or at least get to the championship. We'll see with Penn State. I'm going to go ahead and get my man Dennis Sutton and address one of our needs. Now you're getting near the bottom of the barrel of the draft. Obviously, offensive line you can always look at. Guard could be a position in need. You don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, I think Zach Martin is probably on his last leg. If not, won't be back. You've got defensive interior. You got C.J. West is the highest rated one. Let's see what he's looking at. Obviously, big school, 317 pounds. He's a redshirt senior, so he's an older guy, got some experience. Me personally, I would like to address interior line in the draft, or in free agency, not in the draft. And then you look at our cornerback from Alabama, junior, 6'1", 197. Damani Jackson, played a big school, SEC, good competition. You don't know what's going to happen with Diggs. You don't know what's going to happen with obviously Bland will be there. You got a couple guys coming off injury. Got the cornerback we drafted last year that ended up starting some games. He was hurt, so I'm inclined to get me a safety, but I think Cowboys go back to back on this one. So you got an edge rusher, Stubbs, Shea. I'm just curious of the running backs because we did get our running back, but I'm curious at who's left. This is why the Cowboys have got to go after running back early. You got Martinez sitting there, which makes you think if we would have not gotten Skattebo, I would have been happy with Damian Martinez. I'm telling you, that guy's going to be a stud. He's a bruiser. Again, you're going to want to get lightning with him, but he's a big dude. So I am going to go. I think we're just going to have to go cornerback. I think we got to get cornerback. But first, we're going to address defensive interior. Get that out of the way. We got our next one. We're going to go cornerback in the 5th round again. Let's see. Did he go? No. Let's see. There he is. I'm going cornerback. There in the 5th round. So we got a busy 5th round going into the 6th. Now, I'm not a fan of a lot of our receivers. I almost think they just need to do a rehaul of our receivers. Here's another big kid, 6'2", 186, senior. Put up good numbers, put up over 1,000 yards this year for the Terrapins. So playing in, decent conference. Let's see how he looked. Let's see his trends. He was trending downward. I'd almost draft another receiver. I'm just telling you, I'm going to draft another receiver. This is going to be receiver heavy. This is going to be skill position heavy for me. I just think you cannot pass up skill in the draft. I think they got to address the trenches more in free agency. So Fairchild, guard out of Georgia. He's been very consistent. He is obviously playing at a big school, got some skills. I'm going to go ahead and get that interior lineman. You don't know what's going to happen with Zach Martin. I like our line. I'm not too worried about it to do a whole bunch of stuff. And let's see what our draft grade is. Let's see how we did. A decent draft. We got a B. We're in the top half. We addressed wide receiver. We addressed an edge rusher. We got our quarterback of the future. We ended up getting our big running back. We probably want to get, like I said, we want to go ahead and get a fast lightning to go with him. They could address that in free agency. Got a couple edge rushers, got an interior lineman, got a cornerback. We got a pretty solid draft. I'm happy with it. We got ourselves a good grading. Got a B for those of you guys who don't see it. So I want to know your thoughts, but Egbuka is a guy that I think can be a game changer for this team. And let me just stop sharing that and get back with you. And I think he can be a game changer. And you need to have someone opposite CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we talked about it in the Cowboys Cave last night. You've got to have two solid number one type receivers. You look at the Lions, they've got it, right? You look at Cincinnati, you look at Minnesota, you look at a lot of these teams, you look at Miami, you look at, you've got to have weapons. This is an offensive league. And, I was high on Tolbert, but he hasn't really produced like we hope. Brandon Cooks is obviously older. He's not what he was. He would be more of a 3 these days. You get a big physical receiver opposite CD. It opens so many things up for him. So may not be popular. I'm going wide receiver. I'm going edge rusher. I'm going running back. First 3 rounds. That's what I'm going to do. Let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Am I way off? And this is real early now. This is an early one. This isn't something that's written in stone. This is just my first observation. I hadn't really studied it a whole lot. We're going to be bringing in some draft experts. We're going to be bringing in the guys that know these players inside and out. So they'll give us some of the pros and cons to some of these players and how they fit in our scheme. And really, the X factor is going to be, what are they going to do with the coaching staff? If you're bringing in a whole new staff, they may have a different vision. So then you're looking at different players. So a couple things: receiver, skill position. And I do think the Cowboys, if the opportunity is there for a quarterback, for them to draft for a quarterback in the future, I think they make that move. I think they do it, and start preparing. I mean, you see a lot of other teams do it. The Cowboys haven't drafted quarterbacks very often for whatever reason. So definitely, I think they can address it if it's there. As long as they're not reaching, as long as they're not passing up an immediate need, I think they can do it. But again, free agency is the most critical part. So definitely appreciate it. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit the share. Thank you for everyone for hanging in the Cowboys cave. I'm going to have one last hurrah hype video for the season. It's not going to be more geared towards the game, because I think the game Sunday is kind of a waste. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. I'd be surprised if a lot of key players are playing on either side, if that makes any sense. It doesn't mean a whole lot. So you saw Micah Parsons show up on the injury report. We'll see what happens, but definitely appreciate Cowboys Nation, man. It's been a tough year. You guys you've made this year tolerable for a lot of us, man. We're in this thing together. I expect better things, obviously, in 2025. The injury bug hit them hard. Just not getting off at the right start with free agency, just kind of the whole Jerry thing. He's got to get his shit together. But we just got to hold out hope, man. We're Dallas Cowboy Nation. We're DC for life. I'm in it for the long haul, man. You see the room, you see everything I've got, man. This is the lifestyle. So if I'm going down with the Titanic and it's been sinking for a while, it is what it is. But maybe this is what the doctor ordered for this team, and really for this ownership and for Jerry to get his stuff together, and to be embarrassed on the national stage so many times. The Philly fans, we talked about it, chanting him up and telling him he's doing a great job. That was humiliating. The media has annihilated Jerry all season. The fans with the fire, the GM movement. So hopefully he has taken note. He's got any pride, any guts, any care. He's going to take it personal and get this thing right. So definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging in the cave. Let me drop my outro. We will see you guys soon. Hopefully, might do a live show on Sunday.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need